So what do we do when we're waiting on Mom and Daddy at the hospital with baby brother? We stay back at the Ronald McDonald house. We're out on the playground now, aren't we, Howie? It's really noisy out here. These guys, we're right out here in the main highway. The main street is right out in front of us. The hospital's just down the road, so there's ambulances and all kinds of traffic, and so it's crazy. But we thought we'd come out here for just a little while and spend some time out in the fresh air. And baby Howie is not 100% sure about the other guy that's at the playground, but we're better than we were. The first day he was here, he was not real crazy about him, but he's coming around. Can you? Oh, you got Meemaw's phone, don't you? Let me have that. Thank you. Thank you. This is a nice little playground. Howie can't figure out. It's got turf, and he's not quite sure about it. He can't figure out why he can't pull it like he can grass. But it has some nice playground equipment. It's for a little bit bigger kids than what Howie is. It does have some little tricycles, but he's a little bit small for them. But we have an indoor play area that he's visited, and we go in there and read stories and play with some of the little toys that they have. And it's really a great way for us to be able just to kind of unwind a little bit, and it's a way to still make sure that he's getting the attention that he needs and deserves the whole time that baby brother is in the hospital, and Mama's attention is trying to split between the two of them. So we're doing the best we can, and we are thankful. Hey, Squirt, you got my phone again. We are thankful that the Lord has blessed us and we've been able to stay here. Hey everybody, it's Josie. Welcome back to Cedar Creek Homestead. Well, I'm still at Ronald McDonald House, and with baby Rowdy in the hospital, and just up the hill is the hospital, and I'm in this place that they call the Secret Garden that they have. It's kind of a place to come into and reflect a little bit. It has some seating, concrete seating, and it has a little waterfall. And it's just really a calm and peaceful place in the middle of a big bustling town like Tulsa. I guess it's a city, really. But it's just a nice kind of place just to get off by yourself a little bit and to think and to ponder. If somebody else comes in, I'll shut the camera off, because it could be that they're in here doing the same thing I am doing, seeking a little bit of quiet and away from everybody else. Not that anyone in the house has, been in anything but kind and nice. I just don't want to disturb anybody. And sometimes you just seek a little bit of quiet and solitude. It's easy for me to get that on the farm. There's all around me is peace and quiet and tranquility. And here is bustling. You can hear the traffic. You can hear the big airplanes and the helicopters and all the business of the hospital and all the things that everybody is going through here on just being here. And so it's good to find little bit of pockets of places that you can come and sit and think and ponder. You know how I am. I like to ponder on things. A thought comes through my head, and I like to think about it for a while. And sometimes I just need a place just to rest and regain my composure. Now, I'll give you a little update on Howie. I'll give you a little update on Rowdy. I hope I'm not cutting the top or bottom of my head off. I'm terrible at this, you guys. But I'm looking right into the camera screen, and I hope that it's like looking into somebody else's eyeballs and that everything is good. I'm a bad camera person. Little Rowdy is doing good. He's going to be in the hospital for a bit longer, at least a couple more weeks, while they give him this high-powered antibiotic that he's on. And I apologize for all these names, guys. I'm a farm girl. I don't know all of the big definitions and the big names and all of this stuff, and I couldn't pronounce them even if I did. But he's on an antibiotic to clear up this unknown infection that invaded his body. You know, he was sepsis, and there's all just really had the challenges, but God really moved on this scene, and we're thankful for that. They are taking all of his they didn't have any IVs in his body, you know, on his arms, his feet, hands, any place like that. Everything went through his umbilical cord, belly button area, and they are removing some of those, and they started some of his medications orally through his feeding tube, and that's where he's getting his nutrition as well. But they opted to close up the umbilical area, and so his doctor, she's going to she decided that she wanted to put in a PICC line. She doesn't want to do IVs because they have to be changed every 5-7 days, and they don't want to do that to him. They want to put the PICC line in so that they don't have to keep poking him, and he has to get blood drawn from the bottoms of his feet, and they're testing for different things. And what else? They done an echo, another echo on his heart, and not because they think that there's anything wrong, that everything checks out good, but they're continuously checked just to make sure that there's not any problems getting started with, I guess, with the infection still, and you know, with it being on the different machines and stuff, they could begin to cause some problems. They are always taking they don't take a chest x-ray every day, lung x-ray, but they do. They have so far a couple times this week. His lungs were still a little bit thick with fluids, and he's on Lasix. And but they took the little thing that they had on his head that was checking for blood circulation. They had one on his head, one on his belly. They've taken those off. He's getting good blood flow. He's still swollen, not as bad. He was 6'4" when he was born, and by the time we got to the hospital to stay at Ronald McDonald House, they brought him up on Saturday. The kids were up here on the weekend. I got here on Monday, and he was weighing 8'4", I think it was, just with the amount of fluid that he had on his body. So they he's still on Lasix, still getting that off. His skin is looking better. He's not as translucent. His little faces went down. It was really, really big. His lower body was really extremely swollen. Legs, feet. His belly still has a little bit, she said, is a little tight still, so they're still giving him Lasix for that. And then on his liver, his numbers are at the high end of the safe range. So they've came down a little bit. They started a new medication for that. They have a gastroenterologist coming in to consult with his doctor, and just to see if there's any other kind of medications that he advises to give. His belly numbers are high, but it's not jaundice like that you would get phototherapy for. I might have told you this, I can't remember if I have or not. Anyway, they can't fix it like putting him under the lights like they do newborns. That's not the kind of issue this is. This has more to do with him being still so long and not eating and not doing other activities that the doctor kind of describes it, that his liver kind of gets kind of sluggish. So anyway, they're looking at that. They don't think there's a problem with his liver, other than they just need to get stuff flowing and moving in there. But like I said, the specialist is going to check it out, and while he's here, they might as well do it and make sure that there's not any problems with that. They still don't really know. Sorry guys, there's a big plane going over. They still don't really know what the infection is, I mean, we don't even know for sure if it was meningitis or what it was. We just know that that's the medication that they've got him on. But he is improving. And we thank you for all of your thoughts and your prayers and your well wishes. We also want to take this time to thank those that have given generously. That is so appreciated. It is hard for a family to humble themselves and say that they need help financially or whatever whatever it happens to be. We have always been on the other side of things. Howie and I were in ministry for years and years and years, and we were always on that side of things and being part of the givers. And it's hard to be the receivers on that end, but we're doing it humbly, and we're doing it by pushing any kind of pride aside. And we definitely want to say thank you for all that you guys have done for us. All of those of you that have wished us well, those of you that have stuck with the channel. I know that this is a homesteading channel, but we've gone in a little bit different, surprising direction for now. And I thank you, all of you that have stuck with me. Hopefully before long we'll be back on the farm, and it'll be fall, and we'll be working on fall projects and things to put in the freezer and things to put on the shelves, and we might even start making some Christmas gifts and some things, and discuss things that are going on in the world, and I have learned some things about myself, and one of the things that I realized that all of the hustle and bustle is not for me. I am definitely a person that loves the garden more than I like the shopping center. And I like the quiet. But there's reasons sometimes in our lives that God puts us down different paths. And I wondered why we had to go through this with little Rowdy. And I have thought this time while we're in here with him and Cheyenne, she wasn't having any trouble. She was going for her weekly appointments. And I'm going to scooch over a little bit. The sun is starting to catch me. She was going in for her weekly appointments. Everything was going good. She had gotten 2 weeks past the time that she went with Howie. And we were on the march towards full term. In fact, she had been at the hospital, at the doctor's office on Friday for her appointment before she went into labor Friday night, and wasn't expected till the next Friday to have ultrasound and have some other things done that they do at their doctor's appointments. And I'm thanking the Lord, even though baby Rowdy has had to go through these things. We wish he hadn't have gone through them. Sometimes things that look bad end up being something that really in the long run was a blessing. And I've thought about and pondered about it, and I've come to this conclusion that had she not went into early labor with him, things could have been very different, because his little body was already full of infection, and he was already fighting for his life. In fact, they were pretty sure that he was going to lose his life. And I told Cheyenne, I said, Cheyenne, I think that you might have lost him, and we might have lost her as well, because she had complications, and that, you just never know. So I'm thanking the Lord that he saw fit to spare Rowdy and to spare Cheyenne. She is, she's my daughter-in-law, but she's my daughter, and my son loves her. She loves her babies, and her children need her. And so I'm trying to find ways to encourage her and Blade, to encourage others, that even though sometimes things look
on the bad side and we wonder why we had to go through something, there's always a way to find a positive. So I'm thankful that even though we've had to spend this time in the hospital, and even though the bills are skyrocketing, and I've got bills at home on the table that I keep thinking, oh, I gotta remember to pay that, and I gotta pay that, and although all of that stuff is there, and you gotta figure out, how to do all of these things. It's going to be all right. Things are already beginning to look a little bit better with Rowdy. We're so thankful for that. And Cheyenne is doing better. And Papa Tex came through his surgery. He had heart surgery. They replaced a valve. He's back home now, and I've been able to talk with him for a while this morning. And he's doing good, and he's having to take it easy. Can't lift over 5 pounds. That's going to be a challenge for everybody around him to keep him not lifted. And he's, the garden is there, the cows are there, but I think Granny has taken his keys, and they'll be escorting him around for at least a little while. I think he said, the doctor and the nurse said, about 7 days without driving for himself, and so he'll be taxied around, but he's doing good. Those of you that have asked, he's doing great, and we're thankful for that. So I'll kind of show you this little secret garden. The building is over that away. I don't want to blind you, and it's just a small little spot you come into, and it has a little pathway that you can kind of walk around, and it's got these little benches that you can sit at, a little waterfall, and it has some crepe myrtles and some butterfly weed and some gara, some different little flowers in here. White and pink crepe myrtles. That's a theme here in Tulsa, especially in this area that we're in. There's a lot of crepe myrtles and other plantings that up by the hospital. They have some really pretty gardens, and it has some echinacea in here, but you can kind of see that it's done. And they have this ivy. What do you guys think about this ivy? See it? I don't really know the name of it. It might be, I don't know what it is. Some kind of ivy or creeper or something. I don't know. A lot of people like that, and I don't know if I do. You know why I think it is? Because it reminds me of that that stuff at my house. That morning glory stuff that takes over everywhere. I think that's why. But anyway, it's just quiet in here. You can kind of think about things and ponder things. It's a good place for mamas and daddies to be able to come and just forget everything. A lot of people live in areas where traffic is nothing for them. Obviously for me, traffic for me is something that I'm not used to. But people that live here, the traffic, they don't think anything of it. If I heard these sounds that you're hearing now, I would be getting up and looking, because that's something that I don't hear every day. Now I do have the train that goes through, but anyway, the farm is being taken care of. Grandpa told me this morning, Papa Tex told me this morning that my Howie's aunt and her family are up there this morning weed eating and cleaning up around the garden. That's a blessing to us. I didn't expect it. I didn't say anything about it. I just left the garden how it was. But they're up there today. She actually took off work, and they're up there cleaning and weed eating around the garden. And then I heard they're going over to the cemetery and cleaning around the cemetery and around Howie's resting place and keeping things nice and clean over there too. So I appreciate that. And I'm blessed. So guys, I'm going to get off here for now, and we're getting ready to go to the hospital to see baby Rowdy. And so far Cheyenne's got to hold him, and he just snuggles right down when he just snuggles right down into her arms, and all of his numbers, everything just his heart rate, his everything, when she's holding him, he knows his mama. And she gets to change him and take his temperature, and gets to do all of those things. They're keeping her involved in all of that, and it's a beautiful thing to see. So anyway, guys, this is Josie on location. Until, I love you guys, I really do. Keep looking well to the ways of your household. Hug your loved ones a little bit harder, and until next time, we're gone.